right, good evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here. Hopefully everyone having a nice weekend so far. We want to keep tabs on the weather though overnight tonight. We do have the potential of seeing some strong, maybe even some severe thunderstorms overnight tonight into very early Sunday morning. A lot of this is going to be happening when most of us would be asleep at night. So with that being said, before heading to bed tonight, have a way to get weather warnings, also watches just in case we do see some severe thunderstorms roll through the coast later tonight. As of right now though, really not seeing a ton of rain here in South Mississippi. I would say if anything that's impacting us, it's really the wind. It has been windy today and it's going to stay windy ahead of these thunderstorms over the next couple of hours. But first things first, let's talk about that severe weather threat. Because of the chance of seeing some of those strong to even severe thunderstorms, we did go ahead and issue tonight into tomorrow as an alert day. This is a way to just make sure that everybody stays weather aware overnight tonight. Now, I know a lot of this may be happening while you're asleep, but just a big heads up, have a way to receive those watches and warnings overnight tonight, a way to wake up in case you do need to go into your safe space, especially if we do see any tornado warnings across the area. General time frame of when we could be seeing these strong to severe thunderstorms, roughly after 11 o'clock, and maybe lasting as long as 4 or 5 in the morning. It depends on how quickly this line is going to be approaching us from the west. Pearl River, Hancock County, you're going to see these showers and thunderstorms faster or earlier in the evening compared to Jackson and George counties. So again, that overnight time frame, that's going to be our potential for seeing some severe weather. If we do get some severe weather, our main concern are going to be some very strong wind gusts, possibly as high as 60, over 60 miles per hour. That's the primary concern with these thunderstorms. That being said, there is still a risk of a few embedded tornadoes, possibly within this line or maybe just ahead of this line if we see a few little supercells develop ahead of the main line. But overall, things consistently showing that if we get these strong to severe storms, strong straight line wind gusts are going to be our main concern, especially right along the leading edge of that line that's going to be moving through. While we can't completely rule out some large hail and some flooding, those risks are on the low end. And once this line does approach South Mississippi, it does seem like it's going to be moving in and out fairly quickly. That may limit our flooding potential. So at least we've got that going for us. But just emphasizing that if we get some severe weather, our main risk is going to be some of those strong straight line winds. Now, regardless of whether we get severe weather or not, rain is almost looking like a guarantee at some point overnight tonight, especially just after midnight. That really is our best time frame for seeing these showers and storms, honing it in just a little bit further, mainly that 1, 2, 3 o'clock time frame early Sunday morning. That's our best chance of seeing these showers and storms. So maybe you don't get a severe thunderstorm warning to wake you up on your phone, but you may hear some loud rumbles of thunder even if we don't technically see any severe thunderstorms. But again, with that potential of having some severe weather overnight tonight, highly recommend that you have a way to get alerts. One of the best ways to do that is downloading our WLOX First Alert Weather app. You can get those alerts set to your location. Make sure your notifications stay on overnight tonight. It's free on the Apple App Store, on the Google Play Store. I have it myself. It's really helpful for getting those watches and warnings in real time extremely quickly. So you can go ahead, download that before heading to bed tonight. Highly recommend that. I use it myself to get some of these watches and warnings. It works pretty well. So that being said, before we get to those thunderstorms, it is going to be windy tonight. It's already been fairly windy this evening. It's also warm. It's a little muggy. We've got temperatures right now still in the low to mid 70s. Dew points are in the upper 60s. You may notice a little bit of that muggy feel in the air. If there's one thing that may help us tonight in terms of the severe weather, maybe lessening our threat a little bit, it's that the water and the sound is still relatively cool. With some of the cooler air that we've had the past few days, our water temperature in the sound has cooled back down into the 60s. Maybe if we're lucky, that's going to stabilize us a little bit, cutting off some of the instability. But we also have some very strong wind shear that I'm going to be talking about in just a few moments. And speaking of the wind, We still have a wind advisory in effect. That's for all of South Mississippi until late tonight. Even outside of these thunderstorms, there's the potential for seeing some gusts near 35 to 40 miles per hour, mainly out of the south and southwest. I would say at this point, if you haven't already tied down any loose objects in your yard, go ahead and do that. But even outside of those thunderstorms, things are pretty windy. I can speak from experience just now on my dinner break, and as that line gets a little closer to us, the wind probably going to be picking up even more. We're mainly seeing that wind out of the south and the southwest tonight. So taking a look at the bigger picture, lots of significant flooding happening with this system well to our north, more so in the Ohio Valley and the Mid-South and the parts of Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, Virginia. They've been seeing some flash flood emergencies, unfortunately. Here in Mississippi, we are seeing that strong line of showers and thunderstorms starting to move into the central part of the state. Tons of lightning as far as I can tell. This is happening just ahead of that cold front. This is a front that's going to be pushing through very late tonight into Sunday morning, a little bit closer to the coast. So areas to our north, obviously seeing some of that severe weather as we speak. Things over South Mississippi right now, relatively quiet, but I want to talk about the wind shear. This is those fast upper level winds, the change in speed of the wind from near the surface all the way up to the upper levels. We have some very fast upper level winds, some very strong wind shear. That helps to keep these severe thunderstorms a little bit more organized, and with those very fast upper level winds, sometimes we can see that transfer a little bit closer to the surface. So again, strong straight line winds, one of our main concerns with these thunderstorms. Again, the instability may be a little bit questionable here. The closer you are to the coast, we do have that cooler water in the sound. Sometimes we get what we call the marine layer. That may help to stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. Not only that, these thunderstorms are moving in during the night, so we may not have as much daytime heating left over to work with, but regardless, with those strong upper level winds, certainly could see some very strong thunderstorms, possibly even severe. So that level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather goes for most of us in South Mississippi, but even just south of I-10, we're under that level 2 or slight risk of severe weather. Generally speaking, there's just a slightly higher chance of seeing severe thunderstorms, areas highlighted in orange. And again, just emphasizing this is going to be more of a strong straight line wind event rather than a big tornado outbreak. There still could be a few embedded tornadoes just ahead or within the main line, but strong straight line winds, can't say it enough, that is going to be our main concern. So playing this out on Futurecast, we got the latest run of Futurecast in not too long ago. Still keeps us relatively dry through about 9, 10 o'clock. As we get closer to midnight, 1 o'clock, that's probably when we're going to start to see that line get a little bit more organized here in South Mississippi, and that's when it's going to start to move in from the north and the northwest. Pearl River County, you're going to be the first to see some of these showers and storms. For those of you in Jackson County, you're probably going to see these thunderstorms more so in the 2, 3, 4 o'clock time frame. The leading edge of those thunderstorms, that's where we're likely going to see some of the stronger wind gusts. I stopped this here at 2 o'clock. The front starts to push through South Mississippi. And then as we get into about 3 or 4 o'clock, some of those thunderstorms start to move off into parts of Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Once the front pushes through completely, you'll notice how much cooler it's going to be, and the humidity is also going to be dropping a good bit. Tomorrow is going to be feeling a lot more like winter and like February rather than what we had today. We'll wake up tomorrow morning near the sunrise, more so in the 50s, maybe a few inland areas in the upper 40s. I think Futurecast is pretty aggressive at bringing the cooler air in, but I'd say the 50s are a pretty good bet tomorrow morning. I do expect some of the clouds to clear out of the way by the afternoon. Futurecast keeps us in the mid to upper 50s. I wouldn't be shocked if we see more of that sunshine that we top out in the low 60s. But there's a pretty good chance that Sunday night into Monday, temperature's really going to drop. The wind is going to be calmer, the sky will be clear, and by Monday morning, we're going to be flirting with freezing. Now, even though it's been pretty warm this past week, hopefully you didn't go ahead and plan some things, because not only are we looking at near freezing temperatures Monday morning, but by the end of this upcoming week, we may have a few more freezes up ahead in the future. or in the forecast. So Monday morning, it is going to be cold. We'll be back into the low to mid 30s. Not going to be a hard freeze, but plants need to be protected along with people and pets. Monday afternoon looks really nice, just a bit chilly with highs staying in the 50s. So tonight, very high chance of seeing showers and storms. That's pretty much a guarantee. Now, whether or not we get severe weather, we will closely monitor that overnight tonight. Heads up that late Tuesday into Wednesday morning, we already are looking at another pretty good chance of seeing some showers, maybe even some heavy rainfall at times. With our next system by Tuesday, I'm not so much looking at a severe weather event. That being said, we may be dealing with some flooding around here by Tuesday into Wednesday. If the ground still hasn't absorbed some of the water that we're going to see tonight very well by Tuesday, that may set us up for some flash flooding, some localized flooding. And until Wednesday morning, that also could slow you down if you have to be out and about early in the morning. So the Weather Prediction Center already putting us out under a marginal risk of flooding or excessive rainfall on Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. Looks like we're going to see an area of low pressure almost move right on top of us. So factoring in the rainfall that we expect tonight and also Tuesday night into Wednesday, I would say a lot of us are going to be picking up 1 to 3 inches of rain. Of course, locally higher amounts can never be ruled out completely, but we're in for a good soaking rainfall, at least through the middle of the week. After that, things are looking a little bit drier, but things are also looking much, much cooler by Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week. So we are going to be seeing an area of low pressure moving almost right along the Gulf Coast by Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Some of that heavier rainfall continues into parts of the Florida Panhandle, so a heads up if you're traveling along the Gulf Coast on Wednesday, you may be running into some issues, especially if you're going to be traveling eastward, I would say, into parts of Florida and also Alabama. Behind this area of low pressure, it's going to be getting much cooler. It's also going to be breezy at times. Temperatures Wednesday night into Thursday morning, very likely going to be getting close to freezing. Maybe even some 20s here or there for our inland areas. I'm not ruling that out. For now, we don't have a hard freeze in our forecast, but stay tuned on that. The overall trend, though, is showing much cooler air by Thursday and Friday with morning lows right around freezing, even into the next weekend. A Saturday morning, we may see temperatures just a few degrees above freezing. High temperatures likely going to be below average at that point. I have to say that high on Thursday and Friday, the low 50s, that's kind of generous. Some forecast models keep a little bit more cloud cover in place by Friday, keeping us into the 40s. We'll see how that plays out. For now, we're forecasting highs in the 50s, but generally speaking, the overall trend this week is much, much cooler than what we had last week. This week is going to be feeling much more like February. So this is a good reminder that winter is not over just yet. It's definitely going to be feeling more like winter time by the end of the week. But for those of you that want more use out of your boots, your scarves, your sweaters, this is the forecast for you. So below average temperatures, very likely this upcoming week, even the few days following that. This is the Climate Prediction Center's outlook from about February 21st through the 25th. Across the southeast, we are likely going to see a cooler than average temperatures. So once we get past some of those strong to even severe thunderstorms tonight, tomorrow is looking calmer, cooler, high temperatures struggling to get above 60 for the most part. Very cold by Monday morning, near freezing temperatures expected. We may not even get out of the 50s by Monday afternoon, but it should be a beautiful day with more sunshine. And just another heads up that Tuesday night into Wednesday, we may be seeing some heavy rainfall. Severe weather I'm not too concerned with, but some flooding rain is not out of the question. Beyond that, we are just looking cooler and drier, but even with the sunshine, we are not going to be warming up much at all. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here on our digital desk. We are going to be having our 10 o'clock newscast. I will have the very latest on what's going on just to our west with some of these strong to severe thunderstorms, the very latest on the timing of when we expect to see some of these showers and thunderstorms and the latest risks associated with that. So hopefully you can join us tonight at 10 o'clock. Beyond our 10 o'clock newscast, I will be staying late tonight monitoring storms. Aaron Colby will be coming in overnight tonight to help me out and to also keep us updated with any warnings that hopefully don't get issued, but if need be, we will be there just in case any warnings are issued. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for our 10 o'clock newscast, and hopefully we will see you there.